later service on W265DW at 100.9.
Government and by state media, and it is diametrically opposed to what the United States or anyone anywhere else in the world understands, and that is that America is the aggressor in this situation. It is America and its allies that have been funding the rebels in Ukraine, and all Russia wants to do is simply defend itself.
The accounting firm that prepared former President Trump's annual financial statement says the documents should no longer be relied upon. Mazars advising the Trump Organization to inform anyone who had gotten the documents not to use them when assessing the financial health of the company. Tennis star Novak Djokovic says he is willing to sit out major tournaments if vaccines are a requirement.
After a protracted legal battle in Australia that ended with Djokovic being deported and unable to play in the Australian Open, Djokovic has told the BBC that he's prepared to skip the French Open and Wimbledon if there are vaccine requirements. Djokovic said that's a price he's willing to pay as he confirmed that he's not vaccinated against COVID-19. Whether Djokovic will be able to participate in the tournaments may come down to UK and French government decisions about COVID requirements as many countries begin to consider lifting COVID restrictions and vaccine mandates for travelers. Mark Remillard, ABC News.
15-year-old Russian figure skating star Kamila Valieva is competing in the women's figure skating event despite testing positive for a banned drug. Former bronze medalist Adam Rippon says it's outrageous.
This decision, in my opinion, is a slap in the face to the anti-doping movement.
A court of arbitration said due to her young age, it wasn't her fault test results were delayed in being sent to the IOC. You're listening to ABC News.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GEAR for 25 cents a gallon or more cash back on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code GEAR to earn 25 cents a gallon or more on your first tank. That's code GEAR.
A Houston girl is in critical condition after being hit by a bullet fired by a man who was being robbed. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
A customer sitting in his car at a drive-through ATM was approached by a man on foot who demanded money. Police say the victim jumped out of his car and fired several shots at that suspect. It's not clear whether the robber was hit, but a child in a passing pickup truck was. Assistant Houston Police Chief Matt Slinkard says,
it just goes to show anytime that there's guns involved, the danger to innocent bystanders is extremely high.
The robber has not been caught. Police haven't decided on charges against the robbery victim who accidentally shot that 9-year-old girl. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
A federal judge in Manhattan says he's planning on dismissing the libel case brought by former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin against the New York Times. The judge says Palin didn't meet the standard for a libel case, but the judge is allowing jury deliberations to continue, saying the inevitable appeal will benefit from knowing how the jury deliberations turned out. Officials in Mexico are trying to figure out what killed dozens of blackbirds all at once. A flock of about 100, all found dead in a street. Theories range from toxic fumes to the birds simply flying into the ground to escape some sort of predator. And a new place to use emojis, the address bar on your web browser. A company is now selling web addresses that are made up just of emojis. Several musicians are already using them. This is ABC News.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want their list.
Today we're going to see temperatures by the afternoon climb into the upper 40s and the upper 50s. It's going to be a really nice one. And once we head into tonight, it's not going to be as cold, with temperatures dipping into the upper 20s and the mid 30s. Highs tomorrow will warm into the low to upper 60s. We are tracking warmer conditions to move in and the chance of seeing a few isolated showers and thunderstorms late Thursday into Friday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
It's going to be a beautiful day once the sun rises. It's going to be nice out there. Right now it's 27 and warming up to about 53 and light wind. Now, I don't see any rain coming until maybe Wednesday night, Thursday night possibly. And then the weekend by Saturday, it's all the way here. Sunny skies and highs around 56 on Saturday. So another great week of weather. Now I have these death announcements this morning. Margaret Sadie Cook Brackett, 85, of Golden Valley, died Friday, February the 11th. The funeral will be conducted at 2 o'clock today at First Broad Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery, and Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service is in charge of those arrangements for Margaret Sadie Cook Brackett. Pauline Green Lowry, age 85, of Caroline, passed away Thursday at Laurel Woods Assisted Living in Columbus, North Carolina. A private graveside service will be conducted Wednesday, February the 16th at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. Harrelson Funeral Home is serving the family of Pauline Green Lowry. Timothy Tim Ellenberg, age 62, of Spindale, passed away Friday at his residence. A memorial service will be conducted at 4 o'clock Thursday, February the 17th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Timothy Tim Ellenberg. Pamela Darlene Lowry, 53, of Ellenboro, died Sunday, February 13th. Those arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service for Pamela Darlene Lowry. Michelle Walker Pettit, age 51, of Forest City, passed away Tuesday, February the 8th at Pardee Hospital in Hendersonville. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock today at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow in Eternal Hills Memorial Park. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Michelle Walker Pettit. Victor Vic Whiteside, age 61, of Ledbetter Road, Spindale, died Sunday, February 6th, by hit-and-run accident. Arrangements are incomplete at this time and will be announced later by Pruitt Funeral Home for Victor Vic Whiteside. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For complete information on these and others as they become available to us, you can hear them this morning at 11:35 and then again at 5:30 following the afternoon caller and report here on WCAB in Rutherfordton. Our next Tar Heel game looks like it's coming up on Wednesday night. That'll be UNC in Pittsburgh. That's a 6:30 countdown, 7 o'clock pregame, 8 o'clock tip-off for that game with Pittsburgh and UNC. Won't be long now, just a matter of a few days and weeks until the ACC tournament comes up in March Madness. We'll have all that information for you, too, so stay tuned for the most sports for the foothills right here at WCAB in Rutherfordton. And do yourself a favor and stop by Scrappy's Food and Fuel sometime today for a meal, breakfast or lunch. If you like a great hot dog or hand-braided chicken tenders or onion rings or a juicy hamburger, then your next stop should be Scrappy's Food and Fuel. Full breakfast served Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. until 2 o'clock, Saturdays from 7 till 2. Those hot, handmade, fresh biscuits are made ready at 6 o'clock each morning. You really need to check out their menu for other choices. The store is open until 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday for your favorite snacks and gasoline fill-ups. Scrappy's Food and Fuel is on the corner of Chase High Road and Highway 221, just below Floyd's Creek Baptist Church. Scrappy's Food and Fuel, locally owned and operated, and they make you feel special when you go eat with them there at Scrappy's Food and Fuel. Stand by. The Bill O'Reilly Morning Update is coming up right now.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up from the NRIA.net studios in New York. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. If you are stuck in a timeshare, please call my friends at Lone Star Transfer. They guarantee to get you out with a specified time frame given to you in writing. They have helped thousands of unhappy timeshare owners over the past decade. Family owned, their process is done legally, ethically, and quickly. So please call for a no obligation consultation. 855-551-7066 or visit LoneStarTransfer.com. On this Tuesday, I am thinking about a CBS radio report I just heard that said the Super Bowl halftime show got good reviews. From whom? CBS did not say. Now, I fully realize I am not compatible with the hip-hop world, but I ask a simple question. Could you understand any of the lyrics shouted at the Super Bowl halftime show? I could not. I needed subtitles. Badly. The whole thing was very strange for a guy brought up on the Four Tops, me. There was 50-year-old Snoop Dogg wearing electric blue pajamas, waving his fingers around in some kind of strange symbol. Then Dr. Dre doing something. I'm not sure what, but he was doing something. Followed by Eminem, the token white rapper, in a sweatshirt and very droopy pants. The always astute Eminem took a knee in homage to Colin Kaepernick. How daring. What did it all mean? I don't know. I don't believe NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell knows, nor does Pepsi, who sponsored the exhibition. I guess it was inclusive, which is very important to Pepsi and the NFL, but in the end, I don't know what was going on. I couldn't understand them. Now this. Investors, are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer steady monthly payouts plus double-digit annualized returns. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Good morning, everybody. Time to get up and greet the world with a smile. And remember, no matter what you do today, someday you'll probably have to do it again. Have a nice day.
Superstar Music's on us. WCAB.
The Altman family, comprised of parents and 7 children, were members of a Mormon sect from Illinois, traveling west to a promised land near what is now southwest Arizona. The trip was a harsh one, and many of the family split off, but the Altmans were determined. By the time the Altmans reached Tucson in January of 1851, they had lost their horses and much of their supplies to the Indians. They were relegated to living off hawks, coyote, and anything else they came across. They were told that the Apache were on the warpath, and to continue would be foolhardy. With the last of the families deciding not to continue, the Altmans remained steadfast. On the evening of February 18, 1851, 19 Yavapai Indians approached the Altmans' camp and without warning bludgeoned to death the Altman parents and 4 of their children. A fifth, 14-year-old Lorenzo, was left for dead, but he was able to get to safety. 13-year-old Olive Altman and her 7-year-old sister Marianne were taken by the Indians. The girls, stripped of most of their clothes and roped together, were pushed throughout the night. Anytime they lagged behind or asked for rest or water, the Indians would beat them. They traveled 100 miles before reaching the Indians' camp. There, the Indian women and children beat them and made them stand on hot coals. According to Olive Oatman, torture was no name for it. Death would have been sweet in comparison. But as we shall see tomorrow, Olive's nightmare was just beginning. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James Railroad Express has added 2 new sandwiches to their menu. Try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. And now, the new beer-battered fish sandwich. All come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only, hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Now this terrific Tuesday morning report as we get started, going to the Sheriff's Department first at 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. And we have Sheriff Chris Francis on the phone to give us that update. Good morning, Sheriff. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Jim. I hope you are.
Doing well, thank you. That was a very, very impressive service for your brother-in-law on Saturday. He was a very, very inspired man.
He was a strong Christian father and husband. He will certainly be missed. I appreciate your presence, and I appreciate you saying that.
Well, there's a lot of people there believe in the family and love the family very much.
Thank you.
Tell us what's on the list today.
Jim, the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office responded to 119 calls of service. There have been 15 arrests processed at the county jail. Currently incarcerated, we had 161. Among those arrested, Stephen Andrew Youngs, 56-year-old male of Flat Rock, was charged with failure to appear, 3 counts of larceny, and received a $5,000 secure bond. Keith Wayne Self, a 31-year-old male of Boston, was charged with possession of Schedule 2, carrying a concealed weapon, driving while license revoked, received a $1,500 secure bond. Bruce Dale Bradley, 48-year-old male of Ruffin, was charged with larceny, injury to property, assault on a female, and trespassing, received a $1,000 secure bond. Nicholas Dale Bradley, 26-year-old male of Elmborough, was charged with possession of Schedule 6 and received a $1,000 secure bond. Excuse me. Elizabeth Lane Bryant, 33-year-old female of Woodruff, South Carolina, was charged with possession of cocaine, possession of meth, and received a $1,000 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a break-in and entering in larceny on Fairground Road. There was a hyper-tough skill saw valued at $60, a 24-piece Craftsman ratchet set, a 24-volt Cobalt cordless impact driver valued at $109, a Craftsman toolbox with wheels valued at $400, and a Cobalt tool bag with an impact driver valued at $200. In a separate instance, we had a larceny of a motor vehicle on Race Path Church Road in Mooresboro. It was a 2006 BMW X3 four-wheel drive, blue in color, valued at $2,750. We had a break-in, entering, and larceny in Mount Lebanon Church Road in Boston. There was an LG 32-inch TV valued at $300 and a JBL party box stereo valued at $1,400 taken in that incident. We had a larceny on Callahan and Coon Road there in Spindale where someone had cut off a catalytic converter off of a county van valued at $1,471. We had a break-in, entering, and larceny in Caroline Street in Ellenborough. Looks like a red Craftsman air compressor valued at $100 was taken. A steel 17-inch chainsaw valued at $200 was taken. A Makita drill saw valued at $100 was taken, as well as a door handle set valued at $300. Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Sheriff, it was good news that the Sheriff's Department was able to get a drone. Tell us a little bit about that.
We were blessed. Clark Poole came to me, and he said he had 2 businesses that were interested in doing something for the Sheriff's Office probably about 5 months ago, and learned a little bit more about it, and it turned out to be Parton Lumber and Gilkey Lumber. And the drone is something that we looked at that would really assist the Sheriff's Office in a lot of ways. For example, locating folks that run from law enforcement officers, jump and run, or from vehicle chases, or any other type of situation like that, as well as missing persons, folks with Alzheimer's or young kids that walk away from their homes this drone, especially with its thermal imaging capability, is going to be really priceless in those situations. But Sheriff's Office just couldn't afford it outright, but it was a really a good project for Chamber of Commerce and Clark Poole, who was director at that time, to approach me and got the partners at Parton Lumber and the partners at Gilkey Lumber to come in and assist. So we're very appreciative of that.
Very civic-minded young men up there with the lumber companies. We appreciate them doing that and appreciate the opportunity to get that done here.
Each of those organizations care a lot about their community, and that really meant a lot to me and the Sheriff's Office in Elizabeth County as well. I also just want to mention our Sheriff's app. Well, I should have something in the paper. We put something out on social media yesterday, and also on Friday on Facebook, and then out on Nixle yesterday. That Sheriff's app should have a lot of information, and you can use that with a smartphone, a Droid, or an Apple product. So hopefully it'll be in the paper tomorrow, and folks can get even more information on that. And looking forward to folks being able to get a lot of information, help us solve crimes, as well as them be well informed right there on their own smart cell phones.
Sheriff Chris Francis, thank you very much. You have a safe day out there.
Thank you, sir, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Number 21 past 7, we're headed over toward the 911 Communications Center to get an update on the calls they've had in the past 24 hours. And Lindsay is on the phone to give us that report. Hi, Lindsay.
Hey.
What's on the report?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 341 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 41 EMS, under law enforcement, 119 Sheriff's Office, 46 Florida City, 2 Lake Lure, 20 Rutherfordton, and 35 Spindale. Under fire calls, Cliffside and Rutherfordton both had vehicle fires. Florida City, Rutherfordton, and Sandy Bush all had motor vehicle accidents, and that is all.
All right, thank you very much. You have a great day, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
22 past 7.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
Now here's Ruby Taylor with the Danieltown SDO report. Hi, Ruby.
Hey.
What's on that report?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls, and on my birthday calendar, I've got Christina Stacy and Becky Doggett having birthday today, and I hope they have a nice day. Signs are in the heart today and going to the bowels tomorrow. And, Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks, Ruby. Enjoy your day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
All right, Gary Wilson's up next. He's up in the Fairfield Mountain Fire District, and let's say good morning to Gary Wilson. How you doing?
Hey, Jim. How you doing?
Doing good.
cool, chilly side this morning up in here, about 26 degrees and clear skies and no fire calls overnight. We had a quiet night, but it's chilly out there. Chilly weather.
Yes,
but
it
it's
is.
still February, so we'll have to see what comes about. I hope we have an early spring this year, but you can't ever tell.
Well, that March wind's been blowing here in February, too, so I don't know what March will bring for us.
You can't never tell about March. We had the blizzard of 93. That was in March.
Yeah.
And we've had March can be a snowy month. It could be a funny month. I think the latest I ever seen the snow up here where you could measure it was the 3rd day of April. I remember that one time back in that had to be back in about the 70s, late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
And it started raining. I was at work, and things started getting bigger. Next thing I know, snow started coming down. I thought, well, what's this? About 10 inches of snow on the ground time it was over with. So you never can tell.
Let's hope we don't have a repeat of that.
I'm sorry?
Let's hope we don't have a repeat of that.
No, we don't need that. I like my sunshine anymore. But other than that, everything's quiet up here, Jim. Good to go this morning.
Good to go, Gary. Thank you so much. You have a great day. Be safe up there. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or loved one. You can always depend on Rutherfordlife Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherfordlife is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherfordlife Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherfordlife Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Now here's the run-up over in Boston with our report today. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm just fine and dandy. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well.
Good.
Well, it's 30 degrees over here in Boston, and the fire department had no calls. Don't forget to go by the drop-in and visit the deli and the meat department. The deli has some good gravy biscuit. And don't forget about our Blessed Box on Depot Street. Go by and leave a blessing for someone. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
You have a wonderful day as well, DeVern, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
Bye. And we'll check in up at Hudlow Fire District in just a moment.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Now, Hudlow Fire District is our next stop, and that's where Bob Hodge overlooks things for us and gives us back a report. Good morning, Bob.
Well, good. Chilly Tuesday morning.
Indeed, is right about that. Chilly, chilly, chilly.
That's right there, but that sun comes up. I believe it'll warm up after a while, a little bit there, but we'll get through it there.
Yeah. 34 yesterday morning, 27 this morning. That's a big difference in those two temperatures.
Yes, it is. I reckon this time of year, it just goes up and down.
Yeah.
They're talking about it being 60 Thursday, so with rain, so.
Yep.
But won't be long here maybe we'll get some spring temperatures there.
We're about to learn to adjust to these up and down temperatures, aren't we?
Right. Let's see, Jim, up here with the fire department, we've answered one medical call. And Rutherford Fire Department is having a blood drive over there, and that's coming up Wednesday, February the 16th, and that's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And, Jim, that's about it up here this morning, and maybe they'll have a quiet day, and I hope you have a good day.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for keeping us posted. Keep us informed. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have you heard of deja vu?
Deja vu? I get it all the time.
No, deja vu.
Bless you.
No, deja woo.
Deja woo. Deja what?
With Multiply the Cash scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery, your win gets multiplied, so you feel the win all over again. It's more than deja vu. It's...
Deja woo.
That's right.
I want deja woo.
Hey, we all do. Get deja woo with new Multiply the Cash scratch-off. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.44 to 4.85. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Well, the Rutherford County Health Department will be offering drive-through COVID testing today from 10 o'clock until 12 o'clock at 222 Callahan Coon Road, Spindale. If you have any questions, you can call 287-6100, 287-6100. Sue Price is up next over in the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. How are you today?
Well, I got a little tickle in my throat right now.
Uh-oh.
Tickle, tickle, tickle.
Well, it looks like we're going to have another pretty day today. A little bit colder than we've been having. I don't have any calls from the fire department, so I reckon they've been quiet. Don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on my church calendar. On my personal calendar, I've got a birthday for Phoebe Terry, so I hope Phoebe will have a good day today. And nothing on the other two calendars. The Golden Valley Community Club will be meeting on Monday, the 21st, at 7 p.m. We'll have a meal and then the business meeting. So all you club members, come on out for that if you can. Don't have any other announcements, so it's just a quiet time over here looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thank you very much, Sue. You enjoy your day as well, and I will see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. On February the 11th, the North Carolina Supreme Court issued an opinion concerning the video sweepstakes machines currently being operated across North Carolina. They held that electronic gaming machines are illegal under the North Carolina law, even if they require some skill or dexterity input from the player. If you're operating these machines in your business, please discontinue doing so. Operating electronic game machines is a Class 1 misdemeanor for the first offense, a Class H felony for the second offense, and a Class G felony for the third and subsequent offenses. While we prosecute violation of this law, I do understand that a lot of businesses have been operating under the belief that these machines are legal and therefore am given a 7-day grace period to give time to have these machines removed. Please contact the District Attorney's Office if you have any questions. We thank you for your attention to this matter. And that note from Ted Bell, District Attorney, video gaming machines illegal, and they're giving you a 5-day grace period to discontinue, or you will be prosecuted. So that's getting some of those things off the street, out of the area. Our next Tar Heel game is tomorrow night, UNC versus Pittsburgh. That's 6:30 countdown, 7 o'clock pregame, and 8 o'clock tip-off. And then the next one will be on Saturday with UNC and Virginia Tech. Still a lot of good basketball games to go before the ACC tournament. A lot of these later games are really important to the standings, and we'll have most of those unless they change the schedule around so much we can't handle it. But we are trying our best to stay with the Tar Heel Sports Network throughout this season and even into the ACC tournament. And we're trying to get in touch with Drop-In Family Mart over in Bostic. They're busy, as all of drop-ins are at a lot of places. They are still short of help. So if you'd like to go to work and work in a nice place with a good benefits, a good company, good bosses, you ought to contact them at Drop-In, any of the Drop-Ins, and particularly Drop-In Family Mart, where they have such a great deli and great grocery store, and a great meat market and produce market. You should go to see what they've got to offer, and then have a good job there. Good folks to work with, and we hope you'll do that because they need somebody. But you can always rest assured you can find a good hot breakfast at the deli and good hot lunch, and those chicken tenders are outstanding. And check with them at Drop-In Family Mart in Bostic, or any of the Drop-Ins got those delis. You'll find them very pleasing to your palate. Now let's head up toward the Shingle Hollow Fire District. And Tina White, good morning.
Good morning.
You sound cheerful and happy this morning.
Well, I'm trying to be. I'm up and at 'em and just waiting for the day to get really started this morning.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice when it warms up a little bit.
Yeah, it's 26 degrees up here, which it has went up. It was 23 when I woke this morning, so it's gone up 3 degrees. So 26 degrees in Shingle Hollow, North Carolina this morning. Sun is out. It'll warm up a little. The fire department was all quiet the past 24 hours. And for birthdays today, Pilgrim's Way Baptist Church has Kenny Justice. There's none on Pleasant Grove or Piney Knobs, but we do have an anniversary on Pilgrim Way, too. It is Corky and Carrie Hudson, so I hope they all have wonderful birthdays and anniversaries today. And on my personal calendar, I've got Rebecca Tuttle. Hope she has, if you know, Rebecca's a good friend of mine, and she is having a birthday today. She homeschools her children. She's got her hands full.
I admire her for that.
4 of them. Yeah. And then Dr. Christy Ford Scales, hope she has a wonderful birthday, too. Piney Knob Baptist Church invites you out to the Daddy Sisters on February 27th. That's 11 a.m. service. And Pilgrim Way Baptist Church says that they are having a spring revival to mark your calendars. It's next month, March 7th through 11th at 7 p.m. We'll have different speakers, and I understand they have great revivals over there. And that's really all I have going on up here in Shingle Hollow that I know about.
All righty. I appreciate you keeping your eye on things for us and reporting into us, and we will look for you again tomorrow morning. Yes,
and Jim, I'm so sorry about your brother.
Well, thank you.
It's sad.
I appreciate that.
It is sad, and it's hard to lose someone we love.
It is indeed. But we'll miss him, but he's in good hands now.
That's true. If he knew Jesus, we know where he is.
He did, and we do. Well, thank you so much, Tina. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Tina White reporting out of Shingle Hollow this morning is 7:38. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you, so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled A-R-Y-E-E. More tax time is a scary time for many, and if you let IE Accounting and Tax Services help you with that, you'll breeze right through it. Contact them today. It's 7:39. We're heading up toward Union Mills. Brenda Kelly is on the phone. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. How are you on this, terrific Tuesday morning?
It is indeed a terrific Tuesday morning. Glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're there, too, and I'm sorry about your brother.
Well, thank you. It never expected it to happen like this, but he did, and he'd never been in the hospital in his life until he had the stroke, and he just took the best of him, and he
was a blessed man not to have ever been in the hospital then.
he sure was.
Yeah.
But
and how old was he?
he was 82, I believe, 82.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have a
Well,
sister.
he lived a good life.
He did, yeah. He filled it full with things with the family and his wife, and we spent a lot of time together in recent years. And
Well,
he was my buddy as well as my brother.
Oh, well, that's good. That's a good thing. Well, let's see. I've got 20 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays or any anniversaries, but today, no, that's in Canada. I was going to say it was Flag Day, but that says in Canada, so that don't count for us. And in ways of announcements, Saturday, February the 26th, Union Mills Wilderness Race, 5K, 10K, and virtual options. In-person race starts at 10 a.m. and the cost is $25. Pre-register at the website Information Fund on UMLC Facebook page or by contacting 828-429-5871. And so far, that's all I know of that's going on. It's just short, sweet, quiet, and cold.
And a beautiful morning it is.
Yeah, and what's the temperature supposed to get up to today?
We're supposed to get up today to around 53.
Oh, well, that's pretty warm, isn't it?
Yep, and light wind, not as much wind as yesterday.
Yeah,
So,
boy, it was windy yesterday, that's for sure. And then it's supposed to start raining sometime tomorrow and Thursday and Friday.
That's right. Wednesday, maybe tomorrow night and Thursday and Friday, and by the weekend it should be out here.
Well, good. We like a pretty weekend, don't we?
We do indeed.
Yeah.
We do indeed.
Well, you better go check on Luther Sweet thing and see if everything's all right in Ellenburg.
You have a great day up there.
Okay, catch you later.
Bye.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
All right, we're trying to get over toward Ellenboro now and get a report from Luther Gilligan. And let's see if I see my lights flashing now, so we can pull up Luther on the phone and see what's been happening over there. Luther, good morning.
Good morning, you two. Nice morning down here. Sun's coming up, the coffee's warm, and we're having a good time.
Great to be in Ellenboro, isn't it?
It's good. But things are quiet, not a whole lot happening. Everybody just getting their biscuits and heading on that work, getting another day in. Fire department, they're fairly quiet. They only had one call about 5:30 yesterday afternoon. That was a medical call. Other than that, they're doing good. Nothing happening with them. So you have a great day up there, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, keep it in the road over there, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, take care.
All right, bye. That's Luther Gilligan reporting on Ellenboro. Nice and quiet over there. It's time for birthdays and anniversaries now. On this Tuesday, the 15th of February, call us and we'll celebrate with you. Your birthday and anniversary, 287-3356, 287-3356. Birthdays and anniversaries for the 15th of February. And if you want a good breakfast this morning, you can head over to Granny B's. They've got a great breakfast, fixed most any way you want it. They've got pancakes, they got eggs, and they get bacon and sausage and liver mush, and they'll fix it any way you like it. They got several options, too. Combination plates, you'll enjoy. They're open already with breakfast and serve breakfast till about 11. And then keep in mind also, lunchtime, those subs are available for you, and they are delicious. Heard someone bragging about those the other day. So why don't you become a happy eater and eat with Granny B's? And there is Spindale Main Street in Spindale, right next door to the Shake Shop. You'll enjoy visiting with our good friends over there.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday wishes going out today to Sandra Bright of Boston, 55 today, and also Michael and Sheila Trotter having a 20-year anniversary. They live down in the Chase community, so happy anniversary to them and happy birthday to Sandra. Other birthdays today include Galileo, he was the father of science. He was born in 1564, died in 1642. Susan B. Anthony was born in 1820, died in 1906. And Cesar Romero was an actor, born in 1907, died in 1994. Some other events on this day include 1768, the first mustard manufactured in U.S., 1842, first adhesive postage stamp in the U.S., 1903, the first teddy bear introduced in America, 1936, Adolf Hitler announced construction of the Volkswagen Beetle. Yes. 1939, German battleship Bismarck is launched. 1943, wartime propaganda poster We Can Do It produced. 2005, YouTube is launched in the U.S., and this is National Gumdrop Day, Singles Awareness Day, and National Wisconsin Day. So now you're up to date on this date in history here on WCAB. Coming up, Keys to Confident Living, and we'll take you down memory lane with some classic oldies. At the top of the hour, Andrew Tisdale due to be gracing our Blue Room this morning. Stay with us.
Instant success is not always a blessing, and failure is not always final. All of us desire to be successful, and most of us want it from the first moment we try something. However, too much success too early can set us up for failure. We can become complacent and not be prepared for the changes that will surely come. While on the other hand, failure, though disappointing, can better prepare us for what we need to do. It helps keep us hungry and working. The one, because of his fast start, begins to coast, while the other one needs to work hard to gain momentum. Two young ball players started their major league careers on opening day in 1954 when the Cincinnati Reds played the Milwaukee Braves. Jim Greengrass seemed destined for greatness after hitting 4 doubles in his first major league game and leading Cincinnati to a 9-8 win. The other young man did not do so well. Hank Aaron started in left field for Milwaukee, but went 0 for 5 at the plate. Aaron's failure that day did not prove to be final. We don't know what impact that day had on his career, but he went on to hit more home runs than anyone else in the major leagues, including Babe Ruth. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. The Bible says that the prize goes to those who endure. Our goal in life should be to finish strong, not just do well for a few years. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
music's on us on WCAB.
I'm Sherry Preston. Preparations go on ahead of a possible Russian invasion of Ukraine. ABC senior national correspondent Terry Moran is there.
Citing the Russian threat here, the U.S. has closed its embassy in Kiev and removed remaining personnel to the western Ukrainian city of Lviv, staff destroying classified material and equipment. Today, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin travels to the region to meet with his NATO counterparts and reaffirm U.S. support.
ABC's James Longman is in Moscow, where Russian parliament has just voted to recognize the independence of Russian-controlled republics in Ukraine.
Diplomacy, though, does continue here. This morning, Germany's Chancellor is here for talks with Vladimir Putin. He will surely be looking for some answers about that vote and trying to work out what the Russian president intends to do.
Another rally is planned for today against violence in New York City. A 35-year-old woman brutally attacked and stabbed to death Sunday morning in her Chinatown apartment by a man police say was homeless and had a long criminal record.
Across the country, advocates for the homeless are pushing for improved mental health services amid a spike in violent crimes in major cities. New data shows about 30% of homeless people have some sort of mental health condition, and about 50% experience substance use problems.
ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi. Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva taking to the ice and competing this morning in spite of a drug test that showed a banned substance in her system. Brian Fogel is director of the award-winning documentary Icarus about Russia's doping at the 2014 Sochi Games.
The medication is a metabolic agent that helps prevent angina attacks and treats the symptoms of vertigo. But it can increase blood flow efficiency and improve endurance.
The 15-year-old skater deemed too young to be blamed for the substance. The accounting firm that has prepared the Trump Organization's financial statements for years, cutting ties with the organization after New York Attorney General said they misstated the value of assets. You're listening to ABC News.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness? Modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
We could soon hear from 2 of the 3 former police officers who were on scene when Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd by kneeling on his neck. The prosecution in Minneapolis in their federal trial is now rested.
Separate defense attorneys for each of the 3 former officers facing federal charges in the death of George Floyd start presenting their case today. Tutau, J. Alexander King, and Thomas Lane were on scene as fellow officer Derek Chauvin held his knee on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes, killing him in a 2020 arrest. As of Monday, Tao and King indicated they would testify in their own defense, but Lane's attorney said his client wanted to think it over. They've all pleaded not guilty to violating Floyd's civil rights. Chauvin was already convicted on state murder charges, getting 22 and a half years in prison. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
Gunfire at the campaign headquarters of Louisville Democratic mayoral candidate Craig Greenberg. He says he feels blessed to be alive after a man appeared at the door, pointed a gun at him, and fired.
Despite one bullet coming so close that it grazed my sweater and my shirt, no one was physically harmed.
A person near the door managed to slam it shut. The suspect arrested later, due to be arraigned today on charges including attempted murder. And going up for auction, a doghouse that carries a normal house price tag. The standout feature, it's got a hole in the roof after being hit by a meteorite in Costa Rica. Pre-sale estimates about $300,000. The meteorite being sold separately. This is ABC News.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Sherry Preston, ABC News.
today we're going to see temperatures by the afternoon climb into the upper 40s and the upper 50s. It's going to be a really nice one. And once we head into tonight, it's not going to be as cold, with temperatures dipping into the upper 20s and the mid 30s. Highs tomorrow will warm into the low to upper 60s. We are tracking warmer conditions to move in and the chance of seeing a few isolated showers and thunderstorms late Thursday into Friday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And right now we're 82 degrees. I'm sorry, 25 degrees, warming up to about 82 for a daytime high. Well, that's not true either. Where am I getting these 85-degree temperatures? Highs around 53 for the daytime high today, and light wind. Right now it's 25, and it is Tuesday morning, and that makes it Andrew Tisdale morning here in the Blue Room. Always happy to have him grace our Blue Room on Tuesday mornings with words of wisdom. And he's here this morning. Good morning, Andrew. How are you?
Good. How about you?
All right, good.
Thinking it's 82?
Yeah.
It's a mind game. It's a mind game.
Wishing it was, right?
Wishing it was.
Well, it won't be long. It'll be warming up to 80 before too long, and after we get past March and April, maybe we'll have some 80-degree weather.
Saturday felt really good.
It did, didn't it? Looks like we're going to have another one. Let me look here right quick. Saturday, 56, and Sunday, light wind. So
it's not like last one, but it's still pretty good.
Pretty good.
It's better than 25.
That's right. Exactly is.
Of course, you was in Alaska for a while, so.
Yeah, a big difference. Big difference. What you got on your mind today?
Let's touch base back again about inflation. So, what do I need to do? I've got money in this bank account, and it's not doing anything. And then the inflation rate in December was like 5.4%, and then January is 7.5% more than that. And it just seems like everything keeps going up except my money in my bank account. So what should I do with that? Well, number one, just remember, you always need an emergency fund. An emergency fund is there for that specific purpose, emergencies. So a 3 to 6 month time of need, or 3 to 6 months needs of income, is what you need to keep in that emergency account. That's what it's there for. But what about over that? Two things to look at. Number one, start looking at what you can pay off, specifically credit cards, maybe a car, even look at your house. Look at what you can do to maybe increase your cash flow now, and that is by paying off debt. And I know that the market's been volatile lately. Of course, I see it every day. But when inflation's there, there's some companies that actually are very profitable with that because they pass that extra cost on to us as the consumers. Think about the things you have to buy. Think about the things you're buying every day and where you're really feeling it, like gas, food, clothing, things like that we have to have. Those things are good things to invest in now. If you have some money that's just sitting there and not earning, those are two things to really look at. Maybe pay off some debt. And two, look for those companies that are actually really profitable right now.
That's a good idea. And the cost of fuel, that might be one of the ones to look at right now.
It is. Well, I'll tell you what, you ought to see what Chevron, Exxon, and all them guys are doing lately.
Wow, don't you know it. Everything going well with you otherwise?
Going well. We're in the new building, still buying a little furniture and pictures here to get it really, really set. But we're wide open, running, and I think it looks good.
Ball season over with for a while?
Let's see. Last weekend we were in Rock Hill for volleyball. Baseball's fixing to get started. So it's
a full-time job.
It's a full-time job. I enjoy it. And we got soccer fixing to start for my daughter. So once volleyball ends, all that's already in place. So she'll be playing two sports for a little while, and the boys' baseball's getting started. Basketball's playoffs are coming up.
Yep.
There's a lot going on. You got the RS boys, I think, are ranked 1 or 2 in the state, and the East Rutherford girls is ranked 1 or 2 in the state. There's some really good things happening.
A lot of good things happening here in Rutherford County.
That's why I'm glad I live here.
Glad to be part of Rutherford County. Thanks for being with us. We'll look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.
When it's 82. I hope you have a good
Andrew
day.
Tisdale with Andrew Jones, financial advisor, and he'll be happy to talk with you. His phone number is 287-9197, 287-9197, and he will be glad to sit down and talk to you without any obligation whatsoever. We have news from here and there coming up in just a few moments. My Great America with Jim and Butch at 9:05 today. So hang around. We got a lot to pack in these next few hours.
Discover, Plan, Do, the Charlotte Home and Remodeling Show, February 25th through 27th at Park Expo and Conference Center. 3 days only for great deals, new ideas, and practical advice with trusted local experts. Get inspired when you visit our Ask a Designer area, presented by Great Designs for You. Stand in awe of the Japanese art of flower arrangements known as ikebana. From kitchens and baths to flooring and more. Don't miss the Charlotte Home and Remodeling Show at Park Expo and Conference Center. Save on tickets at charlottehomeandremodelingshow.com.
And unless my mind wanders too far away, I'll have a couple of tickets to give away for that show coming up a little after 8:30 this morning. Stand by for that. Win some tickets. It's like the spring show, except they've renamed it and reprogrammed it a little bit, but it's still exciting. And a lot of folks are looking forward to going. I'll give away a couple of tickets this morning after 8:30. Right now, here's some stories from here and there. The businesses operating video sweepstakes machines must stop allowing them after the North Carolina Supreme Court ruled Friday the machines are illegal. Ted Bell, the district attorney, said they held that electric gaming machines are illegal under North Carolina law, even if they require some skill or dexterity input from the player. If you're operating these machines in your business, please discontinue doing so, District Attorney Ted Bell wrote in a letter Monday addressed to the local businesses. Because area businesses have been under the impression the machines were legal, Bell is allowing a 7-day grace period for the removal of the machine. So if you're in that position, word to the wise should be sufficient. Well, Sonia Brown leads a small team from her church in street ministry. According to an article in the edition of the Daily Courier, Brown lives in Rutherford County, but the church, Word of Deliverance, is in Gaffney, though its members include residents of North and South Carolina. Beginning last summer, the team has been active most Saturdays in Spindale near the intersection of Ledbetter Road and East Main Street. Brown and her team strike up conversations with people who may be walking by. They often pray with people seeking to meet spiritual needs, but they also help with physical needs, sometimes distributing food or connecting them to other resources. A few months ago, the team met Victor Whiteside. He is a disabled man who was usually seen in a wheelchair, and he was killed February the 6th by a hit-and-run driver. Brown replied, the first time we met him, he wanted us to pray for him. We formed a circle around him and prayed. From then on, he referred to us as his circle. Over the next several weeks, Whitesides would come out to see the team on Saturdays. He would talk to us, pray with us. We would all share stories, Brown said. He liked to laugh. When Brown learned of the death of Whiteside, she said, oh, it's just hurt my heart. We had become friends. He did not have a lot of family, so it really hurt. Brown seeks to hear from God. The Lord led me to start this ministry. And on Saturday, Brown organized a balloon release in Whiteside's honor. Approximately 50 people were in attendance, including a few relatives of Whiteside's, as well as several members of the Spindale Police Department, including Chief Eric Shelton. Shelton also spoke at the event. Spindale officers often would help Whiteside, sometimes helping him get where he needed to go. The hit-and-run case remains unsolved, and Shelton encouraged anyone who might know anything about who the person is who committed the crime to come forward with the information and help them put that to an end. Brown also encourages others not to not respond in hate. Next Saturday, Brown and her team will again be in Spindale. Some may be holding signs reminding those who drive by that Jesus loves them. They will offer prayers and continue to encourage others. Brown said, when we began, over 100 people have made professions of faith. We have prayed with them, and they have accepted Christ. Until we feel led to go somewhere else, we'll be back in Spindale on Saturday. So that's what that is all about. Those of you passing and wondering, questioning. A lot of people doing a lot of good things in our community. Well, Puppy Bowl 2022 was a big success, according to Executive Director Karen Parker of Heart of the Foothills Animal Rescue. Parker hopes the event will be Heart of the Foothills Animal Rescue will be the signature event held each year on Saturday before the Super Bowl. This article in the Daily Courier. After event expenses were accounted for, Puppy Bowl produced $1,665. This was a bit lower than the original goal of $2,000, but organizers are pleased even so. Puppies were divided into teams according to size and played on a mini football field at the Heart of the Foothills Animal Rescue Center. In the end, the Ruffton Rowdies won the contest over the RC Rebels by a score of 413 to 399. Approximately 150 people attended the event, which ran from 11 until 3. They enjoyed food, cute puppies, and a halftime show by local gymnastics youth. And of course, we completed several adoptions, they said. 5 dogs were adopted and 1 cat, Parker said. We also started the process for several more adoptions, which will be completed in a few days. So that is a good thing. A lot of fun was had by all. Well, authorities quickly arrested a Rutherfordton man for an armed robbery Friday afternoon, thanks to the help of a citizen. Spindale Police and the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office arrested Joseph Doyle, Medford, 31, following a citizen's tip about the suspect's location. Using the tip, sheriff's deputies located the pickup truck the suspect used in the robbery. It was found at 814 Chimney Rock Road, Rutherfordton. Deputies and Spindale Police then approached the residence and found Medford and 3 other individuals inside the residence. All were detained while search warrants were secured. Items linking Medford to the robbery were found and seized as evidence, according to Spindale Police. Medford was jailed under a $150,000 secured bond. Early in the day, around 2 p.m., Medford allegedly went inside the Dollar General on West Street, facing Railroad Avenue, where he went behind the counter and demanded cash at gunpoint. After grabbing the cash, he fled the store in an older model Ford pickup truck. He was last seen driving north on Railroad Avenue. During the robbery, Medford reportedly wore a black hoodie with an American flag on the front, red cap backwards, sunglasses, and a surgical mask. But they did catch him. Well, many of you who have been around a while and remember the story of Aisha Degree that disappeared out of Shelby, Cleveland County. It's been 22 years. A community is making another push to solve the mysterious disappearance of a 9-year-old girl in Shelby 22 years ago today. Yesterday, actually, it marked 22 years since Aisha Degree went missing in Shelby, and in observance of the current circumstances of her unknown whereabouts, billboards have gone up in the area pleading for any new information, as well as a $45,000 reward that is being offered. Aisha was 9 at the time she disappeared from her home in the middle of the night. The FBI also released a podcast that focuses on the case. According to the FBI, the father checked on her and her sister around 2:30 a.m. on February the 14th, and around 6:30 a.m., Aisha's mother came into the room and didn't find her. As the day went on, the FBI says calls came in from fairly credible witnesses saying they saw a young child walking along a highway around 4 a.m. One witness said they saw her enter a wooded area. Officials say her book bag was found about 16 months later in another county, about 20 miles away from where the highway is. There were items in her book bag that did not belong to her. One detective said anyone with information in this Cleveland County area specifically can call Cleveland County Sheriff's Office at 704-484-4822 or the FBI at 704-672-6100. 18 minutes after 8 o'clock, we'll have more news from here and there coming up, and the Sheriff's Report included right after this.
There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted experience and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services has been a family business since 1953, offering care, dignity, honor, and unique opportunities for families to create healing moments after a loss. John McMahon and his fine staff bring experience, coupled with perspective, to help pay tribute in a traditional or unique way. Call 287-4715 or visit online today at McMahansFuneralHome.com. There you can view current obituary information or pre-plan for yourself or a loved one. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services, offering healing to the community through burial and cremation services, grief support, whether it's a funeral or a memorial service. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services, 249 South Main Street in Rutherfordton, know the importance of ceremony and will guide you in honoring the life and memories of your loved one. Call McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services today at 287-4715.
Well, you know me, I love to recommend good places to have good food. Some are really fancy, some are not so fancy, and I want to send you down to Scrappy's Food and Fuel. Do yourself a favor and stop by Scrappy's Food and Fuel sometime today. Breakfast is being served right now. You can have a lunch over there or any snack in the afternoon. If you'd like a great hot dog or hand-breaded chicken tender or onion rings or a juicy hamburger, then your next stop should be Scrappy's Food and Fuel. Now, the meat they use is local. I mean, it's not frozen and shipped in here. And they make their own chili, wonderful chili for their burgers and hot dogs. They have a full breakfast served Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. until 2 o'clock, Saturdays from 7 until 2. Those hot handmade biscuits are ready at 6 a.m. in the morning, so they're there right now. You really need to check out their menu for other choices. The store is open till 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday for your shopping convenience, for favorite snacks and gasoline fill-ups. Scrappy's Food and Fuel is on the corner of Chase High Road and Highway 221, just below Floyd's Creek Baptist Church. Scrappy's Food and Fuel, locally owned and operated, and those folks will make you feel right at home, I guarantee you. And you'll be glad you've decided to eat a meal at Scrappy's Food and Fuel. Sheriff Chris Francis was on with us earlier, gave us a report from the Sheriff's Department. We recorded it for broadcast at this time. Sheriff?
During the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office responded to 119 calls of service. There have been 15 arrests processed at the county jail. Currently incarcerated, we had 161. Among those arrested, Stephen Andrew Youngs, 56-year-old male of Flat Rock, was charged with failure to appear, 3 counts of larceny, and received a $5,000 secured bond. Keith Wayne Self, a 31-year-old male of Boston, was charged with possession of Schedule 2, carrying a concealed weapon, driving while license revoked, received a $1,500 secured bond. Bruce Dale Bradley, 48-year-old male of Ruthven, was charged with larceny, injury to property, assault on a female, and trespassing, received a $1,000 secured bond. Nicholas Dale Bradley, 26-year-old male of Dunborough, was charged with possession of Schedule 6 and received a $1,000 secured bond. Excuse me. Elizabeth Lane Bryant, 33-year-old female of Woodruff, South Carolina, was charged with possession of cocaine, possession of meth, and received a $1,000 secured bond. Among our incidents, we had a break-in and entering in larceny on Fairground Road. There was a hyper-tough skill saw valued at $60, a 24-piece Craftsman ratchet set, a 24-volt Cobalt cordless impact driver valued at $109, a Craftsman toolbox with wheels valued at $400, and a Cobalt tool bag with an impact driver valued at $200. In a separate instance, we had a larceny of a motor vehicle on Race Path Church Road in Mooresboro. It was a 2006 BMW X3 four-wheel drive, blue in color, valued at $2,750. We had a break-in and entering in larceny in Mount Lebanon Church Road in Boston. There was an LG 32-inch TV valued at $300 and a JBL party box stereo valued at $1,400 taken in that incident. We had a larceny on Callahan and Coon Road there in Spindale where someone had cut off a catalytic converter off of a county van valued at $1,471. We had a break-in and entering in larceny Carolina Street in Ellenborough. Looks like a red Craftsman air compressor valued at $100 was taken. A steel 17-inch chainsaw valued at $200 was taken. A Makita drill saw valued at $100 was taken, as well as a door handle set valued at $300. Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Sheriff, it was good news that the Sheriff's Department was able to get a drone. Tell us a little bit about that.
We were blessed. Clark Poole came to me, and he said he had 2 businesses that were interested in doing something for the Sheriff's Office probably about 5 months ago, and learned a little bit more about it, and it turned out to be Parton Lumber and Gilkey Lumber. And the drone is something that we looked at that would really assist the Sheriff's Office in a lot of ways. For example, locating folks that run from law enforcement officers, jump and run, or from vehicle chases, or any other type of situation like that, as well as missing persons, folks with Alzheimer's or young kids that walk away from their homes. This drone, especially with its thermal imaging capability, is going to be really priceless in those situations. But Sheriff's Office just couldn't afford it outright, but it was a really a good project for Chamber of Commerce and Clark Poole, who was director at that time, to approach me and got the Partons at Parton Lumber and the Partons at Gilkey Lumber to come in and assist. So we're very appreciative of that.
This is Gilbert. I'm back on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9. So put on a pot of coffee, sit down, and listen to Gilbert Talks Taxes. You just might learn something.
The music's on us. WCAB.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. We start with college hoops and a mostly quiet night. Just one game in the ACC. Virginia Tech down UVA 62-53. ACC hoops tonight have Duke hosting in-state rival Wake Forest. Could be a good one in Durham. Tip time set for 7. And just one game on Monday featuring a top 25 team, number 6 Kansas, making easy work of Oklahoma State 76-62. Other finals involving men's D1 programs from North Carolina. NC Central topping Coppin State 77-74. Davidson down Duquesne 72-61. And UNCW topped William & Mary in overtime 82-73. On the pro court, Brooklyn's 11-game losing streak is over thanks in part to Seth Curry's 23 points in his Nets debut and a 109-85 rout of the Kings. The Trailblazers capitalized on the absence of Giannis Antetokounmpo to beat the Bucks 122-107 for their third straight victory. The Bulls beat the Spurs to notch their fourth straight win. The Clippers outscored the Warriors. The Jazz thrashed the Rockets by 34. The Nuggets nipped the Magic, and the Wizards got past the Pistons. The Pelicans shot a season-best 58.4% and ripping the Raptors 120-90. And OKC dealt the Knicks their 9th loss in their last 11. 127-123 in overtime. Today is the day pitchers and catchers were supposed to report to spring training, but Major League players remain locked out, and the fate of this year's baseball season is still up in the air. Former MLB GM Jim Bowden says one of the two sides will need a significant concession for a deal to get done.
As an example, they're $85 million apart on a pool of money for the non-arbitration eligible class. That number has to move dramatically.
Players and owners met on Saturday, but no deal was reached. For the season to start on time, a deal will likely need to be reached by the first week of March. This is NCN Sports.
With the potential threat of COVID-19, getting your kid vaccinated as soon as possible is really the right move to make.
Vaccinating our kids will protect them from severe disease, will prevent them from hopefully spreading it to other people who may not be able to get the vaccine.
Our whole goal is to help your child and your family be as safe and healthy as possible.
Kids have a spot
to take their shot.
Kids have a spot to take their shot.
Everyone 5 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
If you or someone you know has been the victim of a crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Services is here to provide support. The office provides a range of free, confidential services to help you regain yourself, receive compensation for damages incurred, protect yourself and your family, and move beyond the stigma of being victimized. Visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4victims.
Tennis pro Novak Djokovic confirmed he's not vaccinated for COVID-19, an issue that got him barred from the Australian Open last month. In a BBC interview, he said he's ready to skip the next 2 Grand Slam tournaments if vaccines are still required.
What do you say directly to anti-vaccination campaigners around the world who proudly declare Novak Djokovic is one of us?
I say that everyone has the right to choose to act or say whatever they feel is appropriate for them. And I have never said that I'm part of that movement.
Djokovic said his mind remains open on getting the vaccine, and as it stands right now, based on the rules in the U.S. that requires the vaccine to enter the country, he is likely to miss the U.S. Open. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Today we're going to see temperatures by the afternoon climb into the upper 40s and the upper 50s. It's going to be a really nice one. And once we head into tonight, it's not going to be as cold, with temperatures dipping into the upper 20s and the mid 30s. Highs tomorrow will warm into the low to upper 60s. We are tracking warmer conditions to move in and the chance of seeing a few isolated showers and thunderstorms late Thursday into Friday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And it's going to be a beautiful day once the temperature climbs a little bit, and we will be getting up to about 53 for the daytime high and light wind compared to yesterday's gusts. And tonight dropping back to 31, a little warmer than we are right now. We're at 27 and warming up to 53 degrees today. The rain comes in, looks like, on Wednesday night, Thursday, and Thursday night, and probably clearing out here for the weekend. So our weather, as you know, changes from time to time, sometimes within a few hours. So we'll keep our eye on that weather pattern. You keep your ears tuned to 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB in Rutherford. Some stories from here and there. I guess many of you did. Some of you didn't. Celebrated with Valentine yesterday. Some flowers, maybe some candies, or dinner for two, or something like that. But roses are red, violets are blue. Valentine's Day spending increased 10% in 2022. It did indeed increase. Cupid's arrow hit Americans in the wallet this year. According to Wallet Hub, 47% of adults didn't plan to celebrate Valentine's Day, but for the majority who did, the average amount of money spent per person was estimated at just more than $175. Total Valentine's Day spending was estimated to hit $23.9 billion. That's up 10% from last year. $23.9 billion. I'm thinking probably that includes eating out, restaurants. Sure, that doesn't include just candy and flowers. I don't know. But Eric Soborski, facilities coordinator for the Chocolate Fetish, says our truffles run anywhere from $2.25 to $2.50 a piece. And Soborski said, second to Christmas, Valentine's Day is the store's busiest holiday. The chocolatier located in downtown Asheville opened on Monday solely for the occasion. According to Soborski, they always sell out of chocolate-covered strawberries, and the truffles boxes are a hot commodity. Wallet Hub estimated another $2.2 billion was spent on flowers, with orders well into the triple digits. Dara Balokovich, a florist at Shady Grove Flowers, had taken into account orders, pickup, and deliveries. The weeks leading up to Valentine's Day can be pretty hairy. It's our busiest week of the year, I'd say, she said. According to Balokovich, most requests come in at the last minute, and they eventually have to stop taking orders. Half a dozen roses this year is about $75. That's half a dozen. Then a dozen roses, about $125. The demand is so high that we can't just keep getting them in. Skipping the classics, 41% of Americans preferred an experience instead of gifts, according to Wallet Hub. For those taking their love to new heights, a ride with Asheville Balloon Company was one of those things that they did. Other folks decided to go out for the weekend, enjoy a weekend out. Still others just went to a restaurant. Still others just stayed home and had a private dinner at home. Others just sort of ignored it. So I don't know which category you fell in that category, but it was a nice time to have a Valentine so you could tell your sweetheart, I love you, one more time. Well, between January 2021 and January 2022, President Biden's first year in office, the price of unleaded gasoline increased 40.8%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Price of unleaded gas up 40.8% under this administration. Used cars up 40.5%. Beef is up 16%. I guess you've noticed that. During the same one-year period, the price of used cars and trucks increased. The price of beef and veal products increased 16%, according to BLS. That included a 13% increase in the price of uncooked ground beef, 17.1% increase in the price of uncooked beef steaks, and 19.2% increase in the price of uncooked beef roast. The price of pork increased 14.1%. The price of chicken increased 10.3%. Guess it's time to go back to Vienna sausage and pinto beans for lunch, right? Till the price of meat comes down, or either go out and kill your own deer and have it processed. But I guess the processing fee probably going up too, right? Considering, I don't know. I'm not into hunting, but I am sure I'm into eating. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, this is some statistics of interest. It might just, for your information, should you ever appear on Jeopardy or sit around the coffee table discussing trivia notes or talk about it in your Sunday school class. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported last week that there were 3,613,647 births registered in the United States in 2020, and that 1,464,121 of these, or 40.5%, were to unmarried mothers. 40.5% of U.S. babies born in 2020 had unmarried mothers. The percentage of all births to unmarried women was 40.5% in 2020, according to the CDC's births final data for 2020. The CDC also reported that 42% of births in the United States in 2020 were covered by government-funded Medicaid. Among the 50 states, according to the report's supplemental table 1 through 7, Mississippi had the highest percentage of babies born to unmarried mothers. That was 55.8%. It was followed by Louisiana, 54%, New Mexico at 53%, Nevada at 48%, Alabama at 48%, Delaware 48%, Florida 47%, Arkansas 46%, West Virginia 46%, South Carolina 46%. Utah, which is not surprising, had the lowest percentage of babies born in 2020 to unmarried mothers, 19%. Colorado had the second lowest percentage at 23%, followed by Idaho at 27%, Washington 31%, New Hampshire 32%, Minnesota 32%, North Dakota 32%, Massachusetts 32%, Nebraska 33%, and New Jersey and Montana both at 33.9%. Now, how did North Carolina fall in there? Let me see if I believe I got North Carolina. North Carolina. Where is North Carolina on this list? They're up here somewhere. Yeah, there they are. They're under Kentucky at 41.9%, just above Texas. Kentucky, North Carolina, Texas. The percentage of all births to unmarried women was 40.5% in 2020, up 1% from 2019. The CDC said in the report published by the National Center for Health Statistics Division, the percentage of all births to unmarried women peaked in 2009 at 41%. The CDC, you hear about them a lot with this coronavirus thing. They're always talking about something. This is the latest report. The CDC has published tables listing the annual number of births and the percentage of babies born to unmarried mothers going back to 1940. That year, according to the CDC, only 3.8% of the babies born in the United States were born to unmarried mothers. Back in 1940, 3.8%. The percentage first topped 4% in 1945 when it hit 4.3%. It then hit 5% in 1958 and climbed to 6.3% in 1963. In the mid-1960s, that's where it started to spike. You know, the 60s craze and love everything, love everybody, let's do as we please, everything's fun. In the mid-1960s, it started to spike. In 1965, it hit 7.7%. 1966, it hit 8.4%. Then in 1967, 9%. Then in 1969, 10%. You see climbs every year from that point on. 1983, it topped 20% for the first time, hitting 20.3%. And then 2008, it topped 40% for the first time, hitting 40.6%. If you notice these statistic numbers back 1945 when it was 4.3%, there was very little television, very little sitcoms, very little liberal news stories and talk shows saying everything's okay, let's just do as we please, it's all right, nobody needs to tell us what to do. And when television broke out and we had all these sitcoms telling us everything's okay, that's when the numbers started climbing. In the 12 years on record since 2009 to 2020, it has only dropped below 40% in 3 years. 2016 and 2017, it was 39.8%. Then in 2018, it dropped to 39% before climbing back to 40% in 2019. Medicaid was the source of payments for 42% of all 2020 births, said the CDC. The CDC report noted was down from 42.1% in 2019. So there you go. This information for you to think about and wonder about why it happened. It's sort of, we could probably argue a lot about how those things happen when everything's okay, let's do as we please, whatever makes you feel good, let's go with it kind of thing. When that first started to develop, when they started on the television, they started just barely inching a little bit into where it's okay to be man love a man and a woman love a woman. Then it started to be more open, and now they have major television shows where that's the prime characters. So they don't ever hit you like a two before. They sort of a little bit, get to, the camel's nose under the tent. Once that nose is under the tent, then they start pulling things pretty strong. I thought this was very interesting. 20 minutes before 9, by the way. I thought this was very interesting for all ages. The year is 1922, 100 years ago. 1922. What a difference a century makes. Here are some statistics for the year 1922. I found this very interesting. I want to share it with you. 1922, life expectancy for men was 47 years. Fuel for cars was sold in drugstores only. Only 14% of homes had a bathtub. Only 8% of homes had a telephone. The maximum speed limit in most cities was 10 miles per hour. The tallest structure in the world was the Eiffel Tower. This is back in 1922. The average U.S. wage in 1922 was 22 cents per hour. Has that gone up some? I believe that's about what I make now, 22 cents an hour. The average U.S. worker made between $200 and $400 a year. A competent accountant could expect to earn $2,000 a year. A dentist earned $2,500 a year. And a veterinarian between $1,500 and $4,000 a year. And a mechanical engineer about $5,000 a year. More than 95% of all births took place at home. You probably knew that, right? 90% of all doctors had no college education. Instead, they attended so-called medical schools, many of which were condemned in the press and in the government as substandard. Sugar cost 4 cents a pound. Keep in mind that this is back in 1922, 100 years ago. Eggs were 14 cents a dozen. Coffee was 15 cents a pound. Most women wash their hair once a month and use borax or egg yolks for shampoo. Canada passed a law prohibiting poor people from entering into their country for any reason. Can you believe that? Passed a law prohibiting poor people from entering into their country for any reason. That's Canada. The 5 leading causes of death were pneumonia and influenza, number 1. Tuberculosis was number 2. Diarrhea was 3. Heart disease was 4. And stroke was 5. Those are the 5 leading causes of death, 1922. The American flag had 45 stars. The population of Las Vegas, Nevada, was only 30. Crossword puzzles, canned beer, and iced tea hadn't been invented yet. There was neither a Mother's Day nor Father's Day. 2 out of every 10 adults couldn't read or write, and only 6% of all Americans had graduated from high school. Marijuana, heroin, and morphine were available over the counter at local drugstores. Back then, pharmacists said heroin clears the complexion, gives buoyancy to the mind, regulates the stomach, bowels, and is a perfect guardian of health. Is that shocking? 18% of households had at least one full-time servant, one domestic help. There were about 230 reported murders in the entire United States back in 1922. Boy, times have changed, haven't they? My. 1843, I'll be back in just a moment.
I think we all agree drugs are a problem for Rutherford County. Hello, this is Theo, and I'm a candidate for sheriff. If you elect me as your next sheriff, I am committed to shutting down the drug houses. As a former state trooper and federal agent with 20-plus years of experience, I bring to the office of sheriff the training and determination to bring down the drug houses. I am committed to supporting the Second Amendment and following the Constitution. I'm asking for your vote in the Republican primary Tuesday, May 17th, paid for by Steve Theodoropoulos, Republican for Sheriff.
And I've got a pair of tickets I want to give away to the Charlotte Home Remodeling Show, normally known as the Spring Show. That's going to be happening February 25th through the 27th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. And many of you would love to go to the Spring Show, and that's what this is. Actually, they just renamed it and revalued it. So if you'd like to go and would like to have 2 free tickets, right now you can call and be caller number 3 at 287-3356. And I've got a pair of tickets for you for the Spring Show there in Charlotte, February 25th through the 27th. 2 free tickets to yours. Caller number 3, 287-3356.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continuing to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid-19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith's Drugs in 4A City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith's Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recall devices. Just call the Home Medical Department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591. And Smith's Drugs has the Moderna and Pfizer initial shots and the boosters. They also have the flu vaccines at Smith's Drugs of 4A City.
Well, congratulations to Mike Jones. He was the correct caller, caller number 3. Got himself a pair of tickets now to the Southern Spring Show, or the Charlotte Home Remodeling Show is called now. But the same type emphasis, and we'll have those tickets for you, Mike. Stop by here and pick those up. Show starts on the 25th of February. And we'll have some more to give away throughout the week, so be sure to hang around with us. We good people over here. We do a lot of crazy things sometimes, but sometimes we do some nice things. Speaking of nice things, I want you to hear this story. This is one of those nice things. What if you saw someone about to jump off a bridge to commit suicide over a busy highway? What if you saw that happen? Would you stop and open your heart to save a life? Well, a Utah man, Joe Tuniana, 42, found himself in that situation while driving his 3 daughters to one of their basketball games on Saturday, January the 29th. Around 3 p.m., they were crossing the I-15 overpass between 350 North and 760 North when Joe, a sales account manager from Lehigh, spotted a young man in his early 20s in a black hoodie. The run-in changed Joe's life. Joe told the Epoch Times he was crying and was very shaky, standing on the other side of the protective barrier fence facing the interstate, and he was looking down at the moving cars below while holding himself with his right hand. Get this picture in your mind now. So I got out of the car and immediately thought, if you screw this up, not only is this young man going to die, but your daughters are going to see it happen. I nearly passed out due to fear and anxiety, he said. So Joe said a small prayer, asking God to help him do the right thing. From that point, I felt inspired to do what I thought Jesus would do, walk slowly to this young man with your arms open to him. As he drew near, the young man looked over and then back to the freeway. Few words were needed. Joe knew just love. When close enough, I told him, I love you, bro, Joe said. He looked at me with fear and pain, crying so hard. With my arms open to him, I repeated, I love you, bro. After a few minutes, he uttered softly, help. That was all Joe needed to hear. He jumped up, embraced the young man, and pulled him over to the side of the fence. I held the young man in my arms like he was my own child and cried with him. No word said, no questions asked, just time for him to hug. Minutes later, police and first responders arrived. After the young man calmed down enough, they relocated to a parking lot down the street as a crowd had formed with cars stopping on the overpass. Police knew I was first there to help him and that he was comfortable with me, so they asked if I could stay with him for a little while longer, and I agreed. Joe doesn't know what led to the young man's suicide attempt or what happened after that, but hopes to reunite with him. He also wants to encourage anyone having suicidal thoughts to call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline if they need help, and know that there are communities of people who really care about you. This was an amazing, horrible, beautiful experience for my life, Joe said. I now view people with greater love and with open arms. My heart needed an upgrade, and this young man gave it to me. I love you, bro. Arms open and no questions asked. So if you or know anyone that you can encourage, if you are in the point of considering suicide of any kind, please don't do it. Please call the suicide hotline. Let somebody help with that. It's important. All right, we got My Great America with Jim DeWitt's coming up at 9:05 this morning. So I'm going to take a little break, clear my voice, and going to drink a water or two, and be back in for that. So right now I'm going to Send you down the road to memory lane music, some classic oldies right here on 100.9 FM, 590 AM. Thank you for all the emails, the texts this morning, and phone calls. I appreciate it very much. And I'll be back about 9:05.
Live from beautiful downtown Whiteside Road in the Blue Room of WCAB, your connection to the world of entertainment and information.
from ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva has just competed in the short program of the women's figure skating event in Beijing. ABC's Alex Prochet is there with more on how we got to this point.
In an interview with Russian TV, Kamila Valieva says she's happy but tired emotionally. A drug test that the 15-year-old figure skater took in December recently came back positive for a heart medication determined to be a performance-enhancing drug. But on Monday, the Court of Arbitration for Sport ruled she can compete in today's event. The court saying Valieva is a protected person due to her young age and says it's not her fault that the results were delayed and sent to the International Olympic Committee just last week.
Valieva is currently in first place after the short program. Russia confirms some units participating in military exercises near Ukraine will begin returning to their bases. That as Russian parliament votes to recognize Russian-controlled republics of Ukraine. ABC's Terry Moran is there and says diplomatically it is confusing.
World leaders around the world are trying to figure out and decipher those mixed messages from Moscow. On the one hand, those signs of a possible military de-escalation on Ukraine's borders. On the other, a move to annex parts of Ukraine in Moscow.
In New York City, there's a Stop Asian Hate rally today following the murder of 35-year-old Christina Lee in her Chinatown apartment. Community activist Don Lee.
We talk about the mental health of the perpetrator. What about the mental health of our community? Right? People are afraid to leave. People have to choose between either coming to work, getting a meal, or go home safely.
A homeless man with a long criminal record is under arrest. A month ago, a homeless man killed a 40-year-old Asian-American woman by pushing her in front of a subway train in New York. The first witness expected to be called today in the federal hate crimes trial of 3 white men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery as he jogged through their coastal Georgia neighborhood in February of 2020. You're listening to ABC News.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GEAR for 25 cents a gallon or more cash back on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code GEAR to earn 25 cents a gallon or more on your first tank. That's code GEAR.
Another study backing up what doctors have been saying for years, getting out and moving is good for your heart.
Just 20 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise every day may lower the risk of heart disease in men. That's from a study in Italy of over 2,300 men older than 65 by Progetto Veneto Anziani. They kept track of the men from the late 1990s to 2018. The greatest improvement in risk was seen at age 70. More activity did not raise the risk of stroke. The researchers also accounted for factors like other medical conditions and habits like smoking.
That's ABC's Chuck Sievertson. As COVID numbers continue to drop, more mandates are dropping away. California is ending its indoor mask mandate for vaccinated people today, but the mandate stays in place in schools. In Washington, D.C., proof of vaccination no longer required to go into a business. The mayor of an Ohio town now stepping down after being ribbed relentlessly online over his views on ice fishing and prostitution. ABC's Jim Ryan.
At a Hudson City Council workshop last week, the topic of ice fishing on a public lake came up, and Mayor Craig Schubert offered this.
If you then allow ice fishing with shanties, then that leads to another problem. Prostitution.
He couldn't cite examples, but said he had heard of that happening. After a week of international heckling, Schubert says he was trying to inject dry humor into the meeting, but that he's handing in his gavel. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Sherry Preston.
Today we're going to see temperatures by the afternoon climb into the upper 40s and the upper 50s. It's going to be a really nice one. And once we head into tonight, it's not going to be as cold, with temperatures dipping into the upper 20s and the mid 30s. Highs tomorrow will warm into the low to upper 60s. We are tracking warmer conditions to move in and the chance of seeing a few isolated showers and thunderstorms late Thursday into Friday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
34 degrees currently under sunny skies now. We'll be warming up nicely. Light wind today, not as bad as yesterday. So we got a pretty good spring-like day here in the wintertime coming forth today. Rain coming in maybe by Thursday night or Friday morning. It's 9:05. This is WCAB Rutherfordton.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, good morning, Butch. Let's fade the theme music down a little bit so we can talk.
Okay, you know it's it is a good morning, and any morning we can get up and remember again that God is gracious to us. It says in Scripture that we live and move and have our being in Him, and Jim, in ways that aren't maudlin and certainly aren't depressing. I'm your friend, and I just wanted to extend my condolences about your brother Bill.
Thank you.
Who passed into eternity yesterday. And you know, my Swedish grandmother, Jim, used to tell me that you can laugh with anybody, but you cry with friends. Mm-hmm. And so we don't mourn the way the world does. There's a soulish kind of mourning where people wail and cry and the like. We can reflect on the life of a person, and we can acknowledge the fact that it's appointed unto everyone once to die, and after that the judgment. We'll have to reconcile our lives, but you know that you're close to a friend when you in the spirit are walking with them in that path. And so when you texted me yesterday that he had passed into eternity, it was with a sense of joy that he won't suffer, but also a deep sense of knowing that you're family to me. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure I expressed that.
We know where he is, so that's comforting.
Right. And you know, Jim, what I found is that in our society, which has become so fast and loud and noisy and fractious, to me, it's those precious times where we can acknowledge together the brevity of life, the sanctity of life, and the recognition that what we do every single day matters for eternity. So I didn't want to have us move into things without acknowledging that.
I appreciate your comments.
First. So, and you know what? I was also, in the spirit of that, I was thinking of the days that I've gone through cemeteries in the past. I'm a student of history, and when I go through cemeteries, you'll see a date and a hyphen and a date, and it's all about the hyphen. Mm-hmm. It's what do you do in the middle? And so whenever you see a tombstone and you see that hyphen, there's a recognition of people lived their lives. They had children, they had families, they had careers, and certainly we're called to find Jesus worth the knowing. But it's so interesting because yesterday, as you were walking the path that you were walking, Pat Job, my friend, sent me a note, and it was so apropos, and I want to share it here. It was musings from my friend Pat Job. He wrote, "When we die, one of the most striking things we will notice is how much our love meant to other people. As the full impact of our love, our connections to other people, the ability of all that to heal, to encourage, to light the path for others, as the full impact of all that good done is realized, we will be shocked, amazed, and blown away. However, there is a tiny group of people who will not be all that surprised. Why? They plowed that ground all their lives in fair certainty that love was the only seed worth planting, the only crop worth bringing in and sharing with the rest of the world." Mm-hmm. And Jim, I couldn't help but think of all the times that you have come here to this station through rain and snow, and I'm sure mechanical issues and staffing issues, but it was with a solitary purpose of, I'm going to bring light and life and encouragement to the community, which is another way of saying you're bringing love. And I know for a fact that the fruits of all those seeds that you planted through the years are ones that are already germinating and ones that will germinate long after whenever it is that God decides that it's your last day on earth. So I was struck with the fact that he sent that. And you know what? We don't live in fear, but we live in a holy fear of a God who expects us to find him worth the knowing through his son Jesus. And I was reminded of this less than 2 years ago when all of a sudden on my news feed, a story posted, InvestNet founder killed. And I thought to myself, you know, one of my college roommates, Judd Bergman, founded a company called InvestNet. That can't be him. And so I went to the news feed, and this is what I found. And this is just to reinforce the brevity of life. This was in People.com, People Magazine online. InvestNet CEO Judd Bergman and wife killed in a car accident after impaired driver drives the wrong way. And immediately I realized this was my roommate. This was the guy that I went to Wheaton College with. We were best friends. We played on an intramural basketball team together. And it just struck me. So I in disbelief, I kept reading. The impaired driver, the taxi driver in the crash also died from the collision. 4 people are dead after a tragic car accident in Northern California. Judd Bergman, the founder of Chicago-based wealth management company InvestNet, and his wife Mary Miller were riding in a taxi cab early Thursday morning on California's Highway 101 in the San Francisco area when someone described as an impaired driver traveling in the wrong direction collided with the car they were in. No one survived the crash. The taxi driver was identified as San Carlos resident Burkhart Ahmad, according to ABC7, and the other driver has been identified as 34-year-old Hillsborough resident Emily Ross. California Highway Patrol did not immediately respond to people's request for comment, but the Chicago Tribune reported that the accident took place at about 12:30 a.m. on Thursday, just after the California Highway Patrol received multiple calls about a car driving on the wrong side of the road. Ross was driving a Volkswagen sedan going south on northbound lanes. All the lanes of the highway were closed for hours after the wreck. They added that the outlet had curves, and it can be difficult to see. It kind of goes up to a crest, even if that vehicle was traveling at a freeway speed. They reported that one of the people in the taxi was ejected, and they were wondering if the Bergmans were wearing seatbelts. Bergman was a Wheaton College graduate, founder, chairman, and CEO of InvestNet, a leading provider of intelligence systems for wealth management and financial wellness, according to the company's LinkedIn. That was my best friend, and my best friend. That was $1 billion company. And folks, in an instant, his life was gone. And I don't know the direction of his life spiritually. I know the times that we were in college where we talked about God's Word. We talked about the purpose of our life. And he ended up in rarefied air. I think his salary was $28 million the last year of his life. But you know what? It can be gone like that, Jim. It can be gone like that. And so we are called to find Jesus worth the knowing, recognizing, as it says in John 16:33, I have told you these things so that in me you may have perfect peace. In the world, Jim, we're going to have tribulation and distress and suffering, but be courageous, be confident, be undaunted, be filled with joy. I have overcome the world. My conquest is accomplished, and my victory is abiding. So in times of great grief, I mean, I can relate this story. My father, who, did some terrible things to me when I was younger, and had a violence problem. I mean, he would have been put in prison for the things that he did. One bit of humor in the midst of all of it is that, he one time came after me, and he would punch. And I just started running cross country at the high school, Warwick High School. And so I ran out the front door, and he ran after me. And I thought, I can outrun him. I was 16. I can outrun him. So I started just doing I'm going to run as many miles as I have to get away from him, hopped the chain link fence that was in our backyard and looked over my shoulder thinking he can't do that. He's older than me. He hopped the fence too. I kept running down Henry Clay Avenue, which went about 11 miles. And after about 3 miles, he went that far, he stopped and went home. Well, the interesting thing is the next day, Mrs. Jackson, who lived right next door to us, said to my mother, Joyce Maltby, she said, I think it's so sweet when a father and son can run together. Jim, she had no idea that my running stride was being perfected by the terror that I had that he would catch me. But, you know, God gave me tremendous love for him, and I forgave him for all those offenses. And in the last years of his life, Jim, I was able in a nursing home to go and clip his toenails, to take care of his bodily function issues, to sing with him, to pray with him. It's a powerful story of God's redemption. You know, he had a disease called Huntington's disease, which is a neurological disease, and he was bedridden. He hadn't spoken, Jim, for 7 years. And one time I went in there with my brother to see him, and there had been a fever that had broken out in the nursing home he was in. He had a fever, and the fever broke. It's been 7 years since he talked, and I was going to walk out the door with my brother, and as clear as a bell, he said, Butch, I love you.
Wow.
And God did that for me.
Yes.
God did that for me. And, you know, when people die, Jim, we can get stuck in a place where we have regrets, and we say, I wish I had done this, or I could have done that. And that is not a place God wants us to go to. God wants us to recognize that he's promised to give us the grace to walk through the moments that we're in. And if you've lost somebody, I just feel compelled to say this. If you're listening or watching and you've lost somebody and you find yourself stuck in the morass and that dark place of depression, I can promise you that's not from Jesus. That's from the evil one. The evil one comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But in our case, we cry out to God and ask him to give us the grace. And I remember for years I was guilty that I wasn't there when my dad died. Pat Robertson was my boss, and he was a very tenacious boss, and we had a group of donors that we were meeting with out in Southern California. And I told him, I said, my dad is probably going to die this weekend. He was in a coma. He was not responsive. And I said, I can't go on the trip. And for me to do that was a real stake in the ground, because people, honestly, didn't say, it's not that Pat wasn't compassionate, but he was very focused on get the work done. And so I didn't go on that trip, and it was with some of the higher net worth Christians and evangelicals in Southern California. Pat and I used to have breakfast on Monday mornings, and he came back in on Monday, and the first question out of his mouth, and he didn't mean it this way, I don't think, was, did your dad die? And with apologies, I said, no, in my heart, no, he didn't, because I was feeling guilty. I wasn't there for that big event. And so I didn't hear from Jesus. I got on an airplane in Virginia Beach, flew cross-country to John Wayne Airport in Orange County, and 23 minutes after I landed, my brother called and said, the whole family was here and Dad just died. And Jim, I can't tell you how I let that affect me for years after that. I had tremendous guilt. I had tremendous self-indicting behavior. And God, finally, with the help of my pastor and the church that I go to, Word of Faith Fellowship, helped me come to understand, for whatever reason, it wasn't God's plan for me to be there. It wasn't God's plan for me to be there. And so this is why, in the spirit of John 5:30, it's so important for us to hear God's voice and to do his will. And I felt for some reason I was supposed to share that with you, because that's a personal story that I had, because I can tell you that was the loneliest and most seriously attacking flight across country that I had. I literally got on a plane within an hour after I landed and flew all the way back home. But for years I lived with the guilt of, Butch, you made a bad choice and you weren't there for Dad. And finally I had deliverance and a breakthrough in my life to realize God in his providence and his plan didn't have it for whatever his purposes are for me to be there.
I'm glad you shared that. It's very encouraging.
Well, and Jim, I was also thinking that we have so many people in life that when they get to the end of their life, a sermon is told at a memorial service. You learn about a person's life. I do have to say this. This is not related to your brother's situation at all. I have gone to more than a few memorial services where somebody that was an absolute scoundrel and an absolute, like everybody knew in the town, they were not kind, generous, loving, or a follower of Jesus. And some of the most, not impressive, but some of the most interesting sermons are the little homilies that are preached. And we talk about it being somebody being preached to heaven. And so I know you've been to more than a few of those as well. So in the end, God knows. In the end, God knows. And as long as we have breath, we have the opportunity to say, Jesus, I want to find you worth the knowing. I was looking at history, and it's interesting because Shackleton, of course, was the one, the British explorer, who went to Antarctica. He was the one that was, it's said that when he was looking for people to come on his expedition to Antarctica, he took out an advertisement in the Times of London, and it went something like this. Wanted men for life-threatening assignment, chance of survival quite low, and it was all the reasons not to come, and he had this long line of people that were there. But when he died, inscribed on the back of Shackleton's gravestone, there was a quote by the poet Robert Browning, and it captured the spirit of the famed British explorer who led 3 expeditions to the Antarctic. It said, to the dear memory of Ernest Henry Shackleton, explorer, he was born February 15th. Today.
That's today.
Yeah, 1874, and he entered life eternal on the 5th of January, 1922, and on his tombstone it says, I hold that a man should strive to the uttermost for his life's set prize. And Jim, when I read that, I said to myself, Butch, what is your life's set prize? What is the set prize of my life now that God's brought me to Rutherford County? I'm in the Blue Room at WCAB on Whitesides Road. I know where Bostic is. I know where Golden Valley is. I'm learning the county. What is my life's set prize? Well, in James 4:14, it says in the Amplified Bible, yet you do not know the least thing about what may happen in your life tomorrow. What is secure in your life? You are merely a vapor like a puff of smoke or a wisp of steam from a cooking pot that is visible for a little while and then vanishes into thin air. And this morning, Jim, because of just where God has you walking with your family right now with your brother, it caused me early this morning. I woke up at 3:37 this morning, and it caused me to reflect on, Butch, what is your life's purpose? What's your stated purpose? And it really comes down to 2 things, Jim. It's really pretty simple. To know Jesus and to make him known.
Important.
To know Jesus and to make him known. Philippians 3:12 tells us that not that the Apostle Paul, man beaten up, highly educated, burst among his peers in learned studies, said, not that I have already obtained this goal of being Christ-like, or have already been made perfect, but I actively press on so that I may take hold of that perfection for which Christ Jesus took hold of me and made me his own. So my purpose in life is very simple. Your purpose in life, whether you know it or not, is to know Jesus and to make him known. What we do with our time, our talent, and our treasure matters for eternity. And no life is insignificant. Every detail matters to God. We read some of the obituaries, and I've gotten to the age now, I'm on Medicare, where for some reason I start looking at obituaries. And you read about the person's life. No life is too small. Every life is precious to Jesus. He says that he knows the number of hairs on our head, which means that he knows how to do subtraction. God knows the fewer hairs on my head. He knows every bird in the sky. He knows every fish in the sea. God cares intimately about every person's life in this county, Jim. That's why we keep banging the drum like a little band, like a little Salvation Army band on the corner here in Rutherford County. That's why you and I keep banging out let's be encouraging. Let's be loving. Let's pursue truth. Without truth, you can't have freedom. You can't have life. You can't have peace. And then it reminded me, just in closing, what it says in Hebrews 12, 1 through 3. This is the charge for all of us. And today just felt different. With everything in your family and other things that are going on, you know, Tracy had an aunt that passed away, and so I was with a couple of my pastors at the receiving of friends, and you know, it's so interesting when someone dies, there's the opportunity to reach out, even if you don't know. I was hugging people I've never met before and just saying to them, you know, we love you, we care. And that is when we're at our best, when we can let the love of Jesus ooze out of every pore to people that we don't even know and say, we don't really know each other, but you know what, I care. And in that moment, it's an incarnational moment. Everything that Jesus died for can be made manifest for the people that you don't know, that might be perceived by the family as crazy Uncle Joe that shows up every Thanksgiving and says things we all wince at. I don't know. Jesus came for all of us, which is why the Apostle Paul, and Jim, I know when you got up this morning, you didn't expect you were going to get locked in the blue room and have me preach to you the whole time.
I like it. Go ahead.
But the Apostle Paul is why he said in Hebrews 12, 1 through 3, therefore, and take this on as your assignment today, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses who by faith have testified to the truth of God's absolute faithfulness, Jim, stripping off every unnecessary weight and the sin which so easily and cleverly entangles us, let us run with endurance and active persistence the race that is set before us, looking away from all that will distract us and focusing our eyes on Jesus. My pastor often will say this when people are dealing with grief. Keep your eyes on Jesus. He's promised the grace to help walk you through whatever your circumstance. Who is whom? The author and the perfecter of faith, the first incentive of our belief, and the one, capital O, who brings our faith to maturity, who, for the joy of accomplishing the goal set before him, endured the cross, disregarding the shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God, revealing his deity, his authority, and the completion of his work. Verse 3, just consider and meditate on him who endured from sinners such bitter hostility against himself. Consider it all in comparison with your trials. Why? So that you will not grow weary and lose heart. You know, that written 2,000 years ago is the message for us today. And so God asks us sometimes to be wounded healers, or we take our own brokenness. We sing a song about, you know, he is the potter, I'm the clay. And we sing a song where we talk about, take the broken pieces of my life and make something beautiful out of them. And that's what God, I just want to say this to whomever is listening and has an open heart to hear. God can redeem any circumstance, any situation. Our country's in a mess, but God can redeem it. If my people, us, who are called by his name, will humble themselves and pray, he'll hear our cry. It'll change us from the wicked land that we are. So you're not just my friend, you're my brother. And Jim, I want our benediction today to be, may the God who is all peace, the God who is all love, and the God who is all joy, be and abide with Tracy's family as she's just lost an aunt, Jim's family as he lost a brother, Bill, and may all of this help us to remember again the brevity of our life and how absolutely important it is to answer the seminal question, the most important question every human being will be asked and have to answer is the question, what will you do with Jesus? And so let that be your question today, and that's what was on my heart.
Thank you. I needed that. God bless you. I love you.
I love you too, Jim.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.